morning, good afternoon, good evening. The arrogance of dictators like Mnangagwa never ceases to amaze me. Here he is pretending that he knows what he's doing. And of course, underlying the fact that we, the rest of us, do not know anything.
We're talking about the performance of the economy in 2026. We do know that under your administration, you introduced performance-based contracts. How have those helped your government ministers, the directors of various parastatals? Is this making sure the job gets done?
Let me be honest with you. That has helped a lot. No minister now sits back because the results tell whether you're working or not working. You now know which ministers are on the job and which are not. I've never fired anybody, but I know the scale now as to which minister is actually fit to be where they are. If any day I want to make a decision, I know where the X should go.
You are very sure where it should
go.
go.
I know where the X can go. But I'm not telling anybody, but I know where to.
Well. So Mnangagwa knows which ministers, which individuals are to be asked. Let's put that aside. Zanu PF has ruled the country for the last 45 years and counting. The people of Zimbabwe have been denied a meaningful say in the governance of the country. They've been denied the right to fire him and his Zanu PF cronies. This is at the heart of why Zimbabwe is a failed state. We have been stuck with a regime that believes that they and they alone have the divine right to govern the country. This is the problem. Let's make it very clear here and now. No one has the right to govern the country. Our problem, Zimbabwe is a failed state precisely because we have failed to address that fundamental weakness. Zanu PF has failed to deliver. We all know about Mugabe's Kutsarushinji mass prosperity. That has come to nothing. Zimbabwe was an upper middle income nation with a GDP per capita of 6,000 US dollars plus in 1980. Today, the GDP has dropped to a third. Today is 2,000 US dollars per capita. That is the reality. On the political front, over 40,000 Zimbabweans have been murdered by this Zanu PF dictatorship in the last 45 years. All for one and one purpose only, to make sure that Zanu PF retains power at all costs. The discussion in Zimbabwe today should be about nothing else other than the correcting of this absurd situation. I've said it on this platform, and I'll say it again. The right to a meaningful say in the governance of the country is more than just a right. It is the essence of good governance. And after 45 years of rigged elections, corrupt and incompetent government that has left the country's economy in economic ruins and political paralysis. God knows we desperately need to end this case of rigged elections and bad governance. Mnangagwa can boast about he knows who to fire. But the real question here is, why is it that the people have not had the same right to fire him, regardless of his well-known track record as a corrupt and incompetent leader? Mnangagwa is illegitimate. He rigged the 2023 elections, just as Zanu PF has rigged past elections. We need to deal with that. Because as long as we remain a pariah state, Zimbabwe is going nowhere. Here is Mnangagwa dismissing SADC in the AU election observer reports, which clearly stated that the 2023 elections were flawed and illegitimate.
Vana vakatuka Zanu PF kana ini ndonyanyisa kufara kuita zvakanaka. Ukavona vavengi vako vachikurumbidza unenge uchikanganisa. Ukavona vachiti Zanu PF yakaipa, farai. You are doing correct things for your country. Hongu takaita maelections edu kuna vamwe vaitaura zvisina musoro zvikanzi maelection anofamba zvakanaka ndezvavo.
Oh, no. What SADC and the AU were saying is not deja vu. It's not for SADC or the AU. This is us as a nation. We have been stuck with a corrupt, incompetent, and tyrannical regime for 45 years and counting. We need to deal with this problem. The failure to hold free, fair, and credible elections is at the heart of why Zimbabwe is a failed state. No one has the divine right to rule the country. And we must address this problem with the urgency and decisiveness that it demands. We are not kicking this ball down the street anymore. We must deal with it. This is the real issue that is on the table. Yes, as president, you can fire your ministers and CIOs of parastatals, etc. But the people of Zimbabwe have the right to fire you and your government. That is not negotiable. That is where we want to see a serious movement now. Think about it.